Texas, known for its vast landscapes and rich history, also hides within its borders a darker, more mysterious side. From haunted bridges to cursed hotels, the state is filled with eerie locations and bone-chilling tales that have fascinated locals and visitors alike. These stories are not just folklore or fictional ghost tales, they are rooted in real-life tragedies, unexplained phenomena, and chilling encounters that have been reported by countless witnesses over the years. The Ghost on Bragg Road. Deep within the mysterious Big Thicket Forest in East Texas lies Bragg Road, an 8-mile stretch famous for its haunting stories. From strange glowing orbs to legends of hitchhiking ghosts. Surrounded by dense woods and often shrouded in thick fog, Bragg Road creates an atmosphere that is both haunting and eerie. Bill's encounter. Bill, a veteran truck driver with decades of experience on Texas backroads, was a skeptic when it came to supernatural tales. He had heard many strange stories about Bragg Road but always dismissed them as scare tactics for unwary tourists. That was until a cold autumn night changed everything for him. The night was disturbingly quiet, with only the sound of Bill's truck engine echoing in the dense darkness. As he turned a corner, his headlights suddenly caught a figure standing by the roadside. It was a tall, thin man, raising his hand to hitch a ride. Despite feeling cautious, Bill couldn't leave the man stranded in the desolate area. He stopped his truck and let the stranger in. As the man approached, Bill felt that something was off. His clothes were outdated and tattered, as if he had been wandering in the woods for years. The man's eyes were the most unsettling feature, lifeless, hollow, yet filled with an indescribable deep sorrow. The hitchhiker silently climbed into the passenger seat without saying a word. Once the door closed, the atmosphere inside the cabin turned eerily cold, and the truck's radio began to emit static. Bill tried to make small talk, asking the man where he was headed, but the hitchhiker remained silent, staring straight ahead. A sense of dread enveloped Bill as the truck rolled down the dark road. The mysterious disappearance. After driving a short distance, the man suddenly vanished without a trace, as if he had never been there at all. The passenger seat was empty, and the door was still locked from the inside. Startled, Bill pulled over to the side of the road and stepped out to breathe the fresh air. But there was no sign of the stranger. All he could hear was the echo of a chilling, ghostly laugh fading into the darkness. Since that night, Bill has never returned to Bragg Road, connecting with local lore. In addition to Bill's story, Bragg Road is home to many other mysteries. People have reported seeing strange lights flickering in the woods, possibly the glowing orbs that many have spoken of. Several drivers have captured odd images, and some have felt like they were being watched. Bragg Road is not just a simple stretch of pavement, it has become part of local culture and lore. The journey for those who dare to travel this road is not just an ordinary trip but an adventure into the supernatural. The eerie tales of Bragg Road continue to live on in the minds of drivers and locals alike, where every bend and shadow could hold a ghostly story. Conclusion. Bill's experience on Bragg Road serves as a stark reminder of the inexplicable mysteries that exist. Although he faced his fears that night, his story has become part of the legends surrounding the road, warning others of the potential horrors that lie ahead. Bragg Road will always be a frightening destination for those seeking to explore the supernatural, where ghosts and legends live on in every tree and flickering light in the night. Bill's tale is a reminder that sometimes, what we dismiss can become our greatest fears. Bragg Road is not just a road, it's part of a larger mystery that many are eager to uncover. Ghost Story at the Grand Theater 1894. The Grand 1894 Opera House in Galveston, Texas, is more than just a historic venue. It's a place where the past seems to linger in both its performances and the eerie tales that surround it. The building's ornate architecture, grand wooden stage, and stately decor have stood the test of time, surviving some of the worst disasters in the area, including the deadly 1900 hurricane that wiped out much of Galveston. The tragic history behind the haunting. One of the most well-known ghost stories associated with the Grand Opera House revolves around a female opera singer who reportedly died in the middle of a performance. The details of her death remain murky. Some say she collapsed due to a heart attack, while others claim that she simply fainted and never recovered. What's clear is that her spirit is said to have never left the stage where she spent her final moments. Witnesses claim to see her apparition, often described as a woman in an elegant, old-fashioned gown, standing alone on the stage late at night. Many have reported hearing faint opera singing, echoing through the empty auditorium, even when no shows are being performed. Some staff members have been so unnerved by these occurrences that they refuse to work alone after hours. Paranormal experiences at the Grand. One of the strangest experiences happened to a longtime stagehand. Late one evening, after the audience had gone home and the theater was completely empty, he began hearing a soft, melodic voice echoing through the dim corridors. The voice was unmistakably a woman's, and it was coming from the stage area. The man, initially thinking someone had been accidentally locked in the building, went to investigate. As he approached the stage, the singing abruptly stopped. He scanned the room but found it completely vacant. Then, just as he turned to leave, he saw something that would haunt him forever. A figure, pale and translucent, was standing at the center of the stage, illuminated by the dim light left over from the evening's show. The figure was that of a woman, dressed in a long, flowing gown, bowing slowly toward an empty auditorium. Frozen with fear, the stagehand could do nothing but watch as the spectral figure straightened, turned her back to him, and faded into the shadows behind the curtains. He fled the building and later resigned from his position, vowing never to return to the Grand. The Lady in White. Another popular tale involves what is commonly referred to as the Lady in White. This ghost, believed by many to be the same opera singer, has been seen walking the hallways of the theater, particularly in the upper balcony area. Visitors to the Grand have reported feeling cold drafts suddenly pass over them, or catching glimpses of a woman's figure standing silently in the back of the theater, watching the stage intently, only to disappear when someone approaches. One couple, attending a late-night rehearsal for an upcoming play, had their own chilling encounter. As they made their way to the second-floor balcony to get a better view of the stage, they both saw a woman in a white dress sitting in the last row, her head slightly tilted as though listening to the performance below. Thinking it was another guest, they didn't pay much attention. But when the husband turned back a moment later, the woman had vanished, even though they never heard her leave. A restless spirit? Theories abound as to why the opera singer's spirit continues to linger at the Grand. Some say that she was so dedicated to her craft that she simply couldn't bear to leave the stage, even in death. Others believe that her untimely death during a performance left something unfinished, causing her spirit to remain tied to the place she once loved so much. Whatever the reason, her presence seems to be a permanent part of the theater's legacy. Many believe the spirit is not malevolent but rather a restless soul who continues to haunt the place where she felt most alive. However, that doesn't make encounters with her any less unsettling. The thought of a ghost still performing in a dark, empty theater is enough to send chills down the spine of even the bravest visitors. Haunted halls of the Grand Opera House. Aside from the Lady in White, other paranormal phenomena have been reported at the Grand Opera House. Strange knocking sounds have been heard from behind closed doors. Lights flicker without explanation, and objects occasionally move on their own. Some visitors have reported feeling an overwhelming sense of dread when walking down certain hallways, while others claim they've felt a sudden cold touch on their shoulders when no one was near them. In one particularly eerie incident, a security guard on the night shift reported seeing a door slowly creak open, even though it had been locked minutes before. As he approached to close it, he heard what sounded like soft laughter coming from inside the room. But when he entered, the room was completely empty. The Grand today, despite its haunted reputation, the Grand Opera House remains a beloved part of Galveston's cultural scene. The theater continues to host a variety of performances, from Broadway shows to concerts, drawing in visitors from all over. Many of them come not just for the entertainment but also in the hopes of catching a glimpse of the theater's famous ghost. For those who love a good ghost story, the Grand 1894 Opera House offers a perfect blend of history and mystery. Whether you believe in the supernatural or not, there's no denying that the eerie tales associated with the Grand only add to its charm. Just be sure to keep an eye out for the Lady in White the next time you visit, because you never know when she might decide to make an appearance. With its combination of rich history and spooky lore, the Grand 1894 Opera House is a must-visit for anyone intrigued by the supernatural. Just be prepared. You might experience more than just a great show. The haunting story of Baker Street Pub in Houston, Texas. Baker Street Pub in Houston, Texas, is not just known for its cozy atmosphere and British-themed decor, but also for a terrifying legend that has been whispered among locals for decades. The pub is said to be haunted by the ghost of a man who met a tragic end in a brutal brawl many years ago. The identity of the victim remains unknown, but it's believed that he was a regular patron of the pub. Since his death, the spirit appears to be stuck in the pub, manifesting through various supernatural occurrences that employees and customers have reported. The tragic backstory. Years ago, Baker Street Pub was the site of a violent altercation that ended in the stabbing death of a man. Although the man's name has been lost to history, locals insist that his spirit never left. Over the years, staff have shared numerous accounts of strange occurrences, chilling cold spots, the faint sound of breathing, and even the sensation of being watched. But the most unsettling phenomenon is the apparition of a man dressed in a long overcoat, sitting quietly at the corner of the bar, staring mournfully into his half-filled glass of whiskey. The appearance of the ghost. One late night, after the pub had closed, a bartender named Mary stayed behind to clean up. She recalled noticing a dark figure in the corner of the pub. Assuming it was a customer who had stayed behind, she approached him to politely ask him to leave. The man, clad in a long coat with his face obscured in the dim light, remained silent and motionless, gripping his drink tightly. Feeling uneasy, Mary turned to grab a cloth from behind the bar. But when she turned back, the man was gone. The chair where he had sat was empty, except for the half-drunk glass of whiskey left behind. Mary finished her shift as quickly as possible, leaving the pub with a sense of dread she couldn't shake. Other supernatural occurrences. The story of the ghost at Baker Street has become a chilling urban legend, attracting countless visitors to the pub, all hoping for a glimpse of the mysterious figure. Mary is not the only staff member to have experienced these eerie encounters. Several employees have reported hearing faint whispers or clinking glasses in an otherwise empty room. At times, bottles and glasses would inexplicably fall off shelves as if an unseen hand had pushed them. Ghost hunting groups and paranormal enthusiasts have held numerous investigations at the pub, using audio recorders and electromagnetic detectors to capture evidence of the spirit's presence. Some claim to have recorded faint voices and strange, shadowy figures that defy logical explanation, adding to the pub's dark and enigmatic reputation. The curse of the pub. Another chilling aspect of Baker Street's haunting is the so-called curse of the ghost's chair. Legend has it that anyone who sits in the very spot where the ghost was last seen will be plagued by bad luck. Several individuals who dared to sit in that seat have reported recurring nightmares about a bloodied man staring at them. Others claim that, after sitting in the cursed seat, they began experiencing a series of unfortunate events like losing valuables, unexplained malfunctions of electronic devices, and a constant feeling of being watched. Does the ghost really exist? While many are skeptical of the ghost's existence, it is undeniable that Baker Street Pub has become a hotspot for thrill seekers and ghost enthusiasts alike. Thanks to Houston's popular ghost tours like the Nightly Spirits, Baker Street has been cemented as one of the top haunted destinations for anyone wanting to experience a shiver down their spine. Whether or not the ghost is real, Baker Street has become a symbol of Houston's haunted past, a place where the line between history and legend blurs. It serves as a haunting reminder that sometimes, the past never truly leaves us and lingers just beneath the surface, waiting for those who dare to explore it. If you're brave enough, visit Baker Street Pub and see for yourself. But be warned, you might not just be another ordinary guest. You could be yet another witness to a ghostly figure silently watching from the shadows. The Crying Girl of Alamo. Alamo, one of the most iconic historical sites in Texas, not only attracts visitors with its architectural beauty and heroic history but also with its eerie ghost stories. The site of a bloody and brutal battle during the Texas Revolution, Alamo is said to be home to restless spirits, bound forever to this sacred ground. The legend of the Crying Girl. Among the many haunting tales associated with Alamo, the most tragic is about the Crying Girl. According to legend, the girl was the daughter of a family living in Alamo during the siege. She got lost from her family amid the chaos of battle. When the fighting ceased, her body was found among the fallen, her face stained with tears. Since then, visitors to Alamo have reported hearing the faint cries of a child, especially on early mornings when the site is quiet and still. Some claim to have seen the silhouette of a small girl, pale and thin, wearing a tattered white dress, wandering around the monument with tear-filled eyes, forever searching for her family. A fateful evening. One night, a young couple, Anna and Mark, decided to drive to White Rock Lake to relax and enjoy the fresh air. They had heard about the legend, but they didn't truly believe in the supernatural. When they arrived, the sky was filled with stars, and the moonlight reflected off the water, creating a romantic setting. After wandering around the lake, they decided to head back to the road leading out. Suddenly, Mark stopped the car, his eyes wide with surprise. "Look over there," he exclaimed, pointing toward the lakeshore. Anna followed his gaze and saw a slender figure standing silently by the water, drenched in a white gown. "She looks like she needs help," Anna said, concerned. "We should stop," Mark decided, and they parked the car. The couple stepped out, approaching the girl, anxious for her safety. "Do you need help?" Mark asked. The girl didn't say a word, only nodded slightly. With an air of fragility, she climbed into the backseat of their car. The coldness radiating from her body sent shivers down Anna's spine. On the way home, as they drove, the couple tried to engage her in conversation. "Where do you need to go?" But she remained silent, staring out the window with a distant gaze and a pained expression. They could feel the heaviness in the air, a strange sensation spreading through their hearts. When they arrived at the address she had indicated, they turned around to look in the backseat, but it was empty. Water still dripped onto the seat where she had been sitting. An unsettling feeling rose within them, making them feel cold and uneasy. "What just happened?" Anna whispered, her eyes wide as she stared into the empty space. "She's gone." Confused and frightened, the couple decided to knock on the door of the house they had taken her to. An elderly woman answered, and as they recounted what had happened, she sighed, her eyes filled with sorrow. "She is my daughter," she said, her voice trembling. "She drowned in the lake on her wedding night. Many people have seen her ghost, still trying to find her way home." An unresting death. The couple, still shaking from the terrifying experience, left the house, filled with fear and sympathy for the tragic fate of the girl. They could not believe they had encountered the lady by the lake. The coldness and sadness haunted them as they drove away from the area. White Rock Lake continues to be a site filled with mysteries. Locals often avoid the shore at night, sharing the story of the lady to remind each other of the dangers and the pain that a restless soul must endure. The couple never returned to White Rock Lake after dark. They shared their story with friends, but no one truly believed what they had experienced. It was just one of many strange stories that occurred at this location. But for Anna and Mark, it was an unforgettable encounter, an enduring legacy. The tale of the crying girl has become one of the most famous legends of Dallas, passed down from generation to generation. Each time someone strolls around the lake at night, they feel as if they are being watched, and the anxiety about the ghostly girl rises anew. Many have come to the lake in hopes of catching a glimpse of the girl in the white dress. They have recounted seeing strange lights gliding over the surface of the lake, along with whispers carried by the night wind. The story has created an irresistible mystique around White Rock Lake, making it a must-visit destination for those who love to explore and seek the extraordinary. Eternity in memory. Though many years have passed, the lady by the lake remains an indelible image in the minds of the people of Dallas. Those who dare to venture near the lake at night can feel her presence. The chilling air, the whispers in the wind, and the silhouette of a girl in a white dress all evoke the memory of a life unfulfilled and a restless soul. The story of the lady by the lake is not just a legend but a lesson about love, loss, and the ties between the living and the dead. Everyone hopes that one day her spirit will find peace. But until that day comes, she will continue to linger by the shores of White Rock Lake, forever searching for her way home. The chilling story of the Devil's Backbone. The Devil's Backbone is a winding stretch of highway located in Texas Hill Country, widely considered one of the most haunted roads in Texas. With a dark history of violence, tragic accidents, and countless deaths, this place has been the backdrop for many supernatural encounters and ghostly legends. The road's ominous reputation comes not just from its treacherous curves and steep cliffs but also from the many spirits believed to roam its path. Over the years, locals and travelers alike have shared countless eerie stories of seeing apparitions, hearing ghostly whispers, and experiencing other paranormal phenomena along this haunted road. A bloody and violent history. Devil's Backbone was once a strategic passage for Native American tribes like the Tonkawa, Comanche, and Apache, and later, it served as a critical route for Spanish explorers and missionaries. During the Civil War, the remote and rugged terrain provided shelter for deserters and criminals. The area's turbulent past is believed to have left behind a host of restless spirits, including Confederate soldiers, Native American warriors, and bandits who met their untimely ends here. Many believe these spirits are still wandering the hills, seeking vengeance or perhaps just trying to find peace. The ghostly encounters. One of the most well-known ghost sightings involves a group of Confederate soldiers on horseback. On several occasions, people have reported hearing the sound of galloping hooves thundering through the night, sometimes shaking the walls of nearby cabins. A rancher once recalled being awakened by these ghostly horses only to see at least 20 soldiers riding past his house. Their uniforms faded and torn, as they silently vanished into the darkness. Another haunting figure often seen along the backbone is the spirit of a Native American named Drago. According to local ranchers, he has been spotted herding ghostly cattle through the valleys. Additionally, the apparition of a widow and her child, victims of a mining accident, have been seen wandering aimlessly, seemingly searching for a proper burial for her husband. These specters frequently appear along Purgatory Road, a place notorious for shadowy figures and sudden chills that send shivers down the spine of anyone brave enough to visit at night. Chilling experiences at the Devil's Backbone Tavern. The spine-tingling tales don't stop there. One particular hotspot for paranormal activity is the Devil's Backbone Tavern, a 1930s honky-tonk bar that's been a gathering place for ghost enthusiasts for decades. The Old Stone Tavern is said to be haunted, with patrons and employees reporting eerie occurrences such as TVs turning on and off by themselves and windows opening without any explanation. Melanie Walker, a longtime bartender, recalled one frightening night when she was closing up alone. She heard footsteps, but when she looked around, she only saw 2 wet footprints in the bar, even though she was the only person there. The tavern has a collection of ghost stories associated with it, including the tale of Robert Kelly, a former regular who allegedly still haunts the place. His picture hangs on the tavern wall, and legend has it that the photo has fallen twice, hitting his ex-girlfriend in the head as she spoke badly of him. Such incidents have only fueled the tavern's reputation as one of the most haunted spots along the Devil's Backbone. Mysterious lights and disappearances. The Devil's Backbone is also known for its eerie lights. Mysterious orbs are often seen floating above the road or hovering among the trees, varying in size and intensity. These ghostly lights, which range from faint glimmers to bright, pulsating spheres, have baffled and frightened those who have witnessed them. Along with the lights, strange sounds such as disembodied voices and chilling whispers are frequently reported, making it hard to determine whether these noises are real or just tricks of the imagination. Adding to the spine-chilling tales are reports of people vanishing or experiencing time slips while exploring the area. Some have shared stories of driving along the backbone only to find themselves disoriented and lost for hours. Others recount how their vehicles suddenly stalled or their electronic devices malfunctioned without any apparent reason. Such bizarre incidents have only deepened the dark legend of Devil's Backbone and its unexplainable phenomena. Conclusion. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, there's no denying that Devil's Backbone is steeped in mystery and haunted folklore. Its dark history and the chilling tales passed down through generations have solidified its place as one of Texas's most haunted locations. For those who dare to explore this sinister stretch of road, beware. You may find more than just a beautiful scenic drive through the Texas Hill Country. You might just become another witness to the strange and terrifying events that occur on the Devil's Backbone, if you're lucky enough to make it out. If you're looking for a thrill, consider stopping by the Devil's Backbone Tavern. But be prepared. You may encounter more than just friendly locals enjoying a drink. You may feel a cold breeze, hear a faint whisper, or catch a glimpse of a shadowy figure that shouldn't be there. It's a place where the past refuses to stay buried and the spirits of those who met their tragic ends continue to haunt the winding road that is the Devil's Backbone. The haunted tracks of San Antonio. In San Antonio, there is a stretch of railroad track that has gained notoriety for its eerie and strange phenomenon. According to local legend, many years ago, a school bus full of children was struck by a train at this crossing, resulting in the tragic deaths of all the young passengers. The souls of these children, unable to move on, are said to still haunt this stretch of track, watching over others to prevent a similar fate. The legend of the haunted tracks. The legend states that if you stop your vehicle on the tracks and put it in neutral, the spirits of the children will push your car safely across the tracks. As a way to prevent another tragedy, many people have reported that after experiencing this phenomenon, they noticed tiny handprints left on the car's windows, as if the children had truly been there. Every night, stories of these haunted tracks are recounted, attracting both locals and tourists eager to experience the chilling atmosphere and possibly catch a glimpse of the ghostly children. A brave challenge. One night, a group of friends decided to put the legend to the test. They drove to the railroad tracks, turned off the engine, and put the car in neutral. In the stillness of the night, they waited, anticipation filling the air. Suddenly, the group felt a gentle push, and the car began to roll forward slowly, as if an invisible force was propelling it. The vehicle gradually moved uphill, crossing over the tracks. The friends stared in disbelief, unable to comprehend what they were witnessing. As they reached the other side, they jumped out of the car to inspect it. On the back of the vehicle, they saw it, tiny handprints clearly visible in the dust, as if small hands had actually pushed the car across. A haunting experience. The group quickly left the area, convinced that the spirits of the children were still guarding this spot. The haunted tracks of San Antonio became a popular destination for thrill seekers and paranormal investigators, all hoping to experience this strange phenomenon for themselves, whether the spirits of the children or something else was present there. One thing is certain: these tracks hold something unusual, making them one of the most famous and frightening ghost stories in Texas. Witnesses of the unexplained. Those who have visited the tracks often share various experiences. Some have claimed to hear the sounds of children laughing echoing in the air, while others insist they have seen small figures darting through the darkness. These stories add to the legend of the haunted tracks, creating an irresistible allure for both locals and visitors. As more people come to the site, the presence of the ghosts becomes more palpable, leaving an impression on those brave enough to linger after dark. The echoes of the past are not easily forgotten, and the spirits of the children serve as a reminder of the tragic events that unfolded in this place. Conclusion: whether you believe in the supernatural or not, the tale of the haunted tracks in San Antonio remains an integral part of local culture and history. It reminds us that there are some things in life that defy explanation, and sometimes, we should respect the stories that the world has shared with us. The Ghost of Baker Hotel. Baker Hotel, located in Mineral Wells, Texas, is a luxurious historical hotel that has withstood the test of time. However, behind its elegant facade lies a past filled with tragedy and loss, leading many to believe that the hotel is haunted. The most famous ghost associated with the Baker Hotel is that of a woman who died mysteriously in one of the hotel rooms. According to legend, she was the mistress of a wealthy guest at the hotel. When their affair was discovered, she took her own life in a lavish room. Her spirit is said to still linger in the hotel, unable to find peace. Staff and guests at the Baker Hotel have reported numerous supernatural phenomena, from sudden cold spots to disembodied voices echoing through the halls. However, the most commonly seen presence is that of the woman herself, dressed in a long gown, quietly wandering the hallways. She often appears near the room where she ended her life, her face stained with tears and her expression filled with sorrow. A haunting encounter. One night, a guest staying in that very room awoke in the middle of the night, disturbed by the sound of soft sobbing. As he listened, the crying grew louder, and the temperature in the room suddenly dropped. He turned on the light and saw a woman in a long white dress standing at the foot of the bed, her face streaked with tears. The guest was too terrified to move, only able to stare as the woman slowly walked toward the door and vanished into the hallway. The next morning, he immediately checked out, still trembling from the experience. The story of the mysterious woman has become one of the most famous ghost tales associated with the Baker Hotel, adding to its reputation as one of the most haunted locations in Texas. The hotel's legacy. Since that terrifying encounter, the tale of the ghostly woman has drawn many visitors and thrill-seekers eager to experience the supernatural. Each night, the hotel transforms into a gathering place for those curious about the paranormal, all hoping to witness something otherworldly. Many have reported strange occurrences, from the sound of footsteps in empty corridors to the feeling of being watched in their rooms. Some guests even claim to have seen the silhouette of the woman, standing silently in a corner, her tear-streaked face gazing out the window. The haunting remains. Baker Hotel has become an integral part of local history, where the stories of restless spirits continue to thrive. Parents often tell their children about the strange happenings at the hotel, reminding them that the past never truly fades away. The hotel is no longer just a place to stay. It has become a poignant reminder of the tragedies that have unfolded within its walls, where the souls of those who have passed linger, waiting to share their stories with those brave enough to listen. The presence of the woman will never be forgotten, and her ghost continues to haunt the hallways of the Baker Hotel, a haunting reminder of a love lost. The mysterious stories of Texas are not just legends or folklore. They are deeply woven into the local culture and have become an integral part of the state's history. From the restless spirits lurking on old bridges, and the ghostly figures wandering through historic hotels, to the supernatural occurrences at well-known landmarks, each tale carries a sense of loss, tragedy, and unexplained phenomena. For those brave enough to visit these haunted locations, they must be prepared to face the unimaginable. Whether you believe in the supernatural or are simply curious, Texas has a way of making your skin crawl with its eerie atmosphere and spine-chilling experiences that are hard to forget. The souls that never found peace continue to roam the shadows, serving as a reminder that sometimes the past never truly leaves. Every step taken through these haunted sites, whether it be the Maxdale Bridge, the Driscoll Hotel, or Arlington's Screaming Bridge, offers a glimpse into the lingering presence of those trapped between the world of the living and the dead. In the end, whether you are a skeptic or a believer, these stories have become an inseparable part of Texas's heritage, a place where history and the supernatural intertwine to create chilling legends. And every time night falls, Texas's mysteries continue to whisper, telling tales of the forgotten souls, making everyone wonder, have they really left? Or are they still watching from the dark?